Under 30k. Why are you giving me all the really big ones? Please don't tell me Charizard. Oh my, thank God.
I can meet the full formation with Martel. There, can you just remove him? Okay, let's skip the one with the less MP. I can't avoid the absorption. Which skill it was? Fai nemici. Hopefully it's always active. I can use him to make sure they can't absorb anything. Choose the occasion. see what can you get. Tuberino.
待て、まだ準備が。
じゃあね。
How much damage now?
消えろ。
終わりよ。もっと頑張らないと。
Oh, composite magic.
Okay, guys, this is Pokemon. People get really good. Albert Wesker. And if I am wrong, you're wrong! Kobo Kanaine. Okay. Oh my god. What is...
Jättefont. Royal Knights Emblem. Someone will know something so can I keep stuff.
戦うしかないようですね。
消えろ。
Nice.
無用な争いだったのでしょうか。
For first 7. They will die.
無理しちゃダメよ。
消えろ。
こ
Do you have Absolute Guard now? Okay, the automatic listen and defy, so it should always work. Avevo sul guard, use, nice, and cane. Nothing useful in make Swolla Soulful Ignited Ultimate Analysis never have enough of Angel Art. Che non want to fight now.
So,
Oops. Back to the city. Okay, what's in the city? Everyone is full. Okay, let's skip to cutscene. See if I can make it now.
wake up.
I didn't give it anything. Yes, I have to pay the ok da subito. Just something I had to get to. Oh, wait. No, it's not something I have to use. Wave a travel up more. Just that the skill doesn't count. Okay. Okay, it just doesn't work. Okay, this should be worth. You get built. Machine killer. Machine killer level 1. Ställvis. Skill. Loses. Just 5. Då är jag inte äga in det.
Set up my Nintendo Switch because it uses the same factor. Yeah, I forgot Diva. I forgot Diva is crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna remember this because it's hard to forget this really.
To čekam sobie.
じゃあね。
Stage blir borta för attack.
大丈夫。じゃあね。
Fatto tutto letto.
大丈夫。
Okay, thank you. Not much.
した。時には力が必要だということですが、あなたが求める力は己のための力。それゆえに弱いのです。
理屈じゃないのよ、戦いは。
E tiene incredible magic rifle.
Joe 陛下。マーヤ。
ああ、ご無事で。カカナスの目論みに気づかぬ私がいけなかったのです。
あなたたちのせいではありません。すべて私の甘さから起こったことです。私がカカナスの言葉通りただの飾りになってしまい、付け入る隙を与えてしまったのですから、これは私の責任です。
自分を責めるな。
そうだぜ。あいつが勝手に盛り上がってただけじゃねえか。
でも彼もまたガンガラの計りごとの犠牲者だったとも言えますわ。
そりゃあ優しすぎだぜ。
陛下、この方たちは？
ああ、そうでした。彼女たちはずっと私の世話をしてくれていた女官たちです。彼女は女官長のマーヤと言います。
マーヤと申します。お初にお目にかかります。
マーヤ、この方たちは私の友。これから同じ目的のもと、ある大切な使命を果たさねばなりません。
使命では陛下、ヌマラは？陛下、
私はこの使命を果たすまでしばし国を留守にします。その間、あなた方にヌマラを任せます。
この私たちにでございますか？
私のしていたようにやればいいのです。最も近いところにいたあなた方ならできるものと信じていますよ。私は必ず戻ってきますから。
わかりました、陛下。陛下がお留守の間、ヌマラは私たちが守りますゆえ、ご安心くだされ。
I dream has been revealed. E quindi loneliness. 8,000 years can change everything, including the landscape. Ming survey a capital from the palace window. The panoramic view is like a great history book. The volcano tower in the distance, which used to sparkle smoke, went dormant 700 years ago. Once part of the sea, the inlet was reclaimed 500 years ago to become a village for the fisher folk who spend their lives on the ocean. The river once such grande across the landscape, but the deluge that occurred 300 years ago became the occasion for major flood control construction in the form of a perfectly straight channel. Where the river used to curve, there is now an Otsbo lake in which reeds grow in profusion, and the banks provide the people with a rich natural bounty. Even the Forme was abandoned, rock-strewn wasteland became a vast and fruit-bearing garden thanks to the irrigation project that was undertaken 200 years ago. The mountain that was the center of the people's religious faith was enveloped in a sky-scorching flame 100 years ago. Formerly watered in a thick green covering and seen as the home of the gods, the towering peak was transformed into a bare rock pile by a forest fire that burned for 3 days and nights. Almost everything that lived in the forest, birds and beasts of course, but many people too died in the flame. The people in the village below mourned the horrible transformation of their god's abode, but now, 100 years later, the mountain is as green as ever. The people of the village and the people of the mountain still tell the story of the fire, but today children cannot imagine that the rich green slope was once charged and blackened. Restored through it is to its original green lushness, of course the mountain could well be enveloped in flames again, 100 years from now, 200 years from now, or even tomorrow. Even if this should be charred again, however, the river sprout anew. The bird and beast and insect chased away by the fire will return to their home, and, given enough time, the mountain will be covered in green as before, such are the workings of nature. Given enough time, that's in stretches of time. But no, to become this at the true stretches of time is a privilege of the ordinary folk. Those who have no choice but to devote all their energies to living in the present. How fortunate they are to be able to look back to the past 1,000 years ago, like an old man telling a child a fairy tale. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago. And how truly fortunate one would be to be able to tell the story of this country's future as a rosy dream, the which then read their own dreams of the future with flashing eyes, and to entrust that dream to the next reign. Ming stands at the window like this every morning. It is a special time of day for her, when she thinks about the livelihood of her subject, watches for sign of enemy intrusion, and ponders measures she might wish to adopt. She has done this every day without fail for the past 1,000 years. The country has flourished, the people no longer starve as they did when she first took the throne. Future historian will no doubt sing the praise of Ming 1,000 years reign. She will be as stolid as the 1,000-year-old queen, and her noble figure will be vividly engraved in people's memory. Cherishing this memory of her, however, people will die before she does. The historian will praise her too, instead of witnessing her reign to its end, will the same become part of history. Ming has been queen for the past 1,000 years, and probably will be for the next 1,000 years as well. Her Majesty is in excellent spirit again this morning, I trust. She heard the voice behind her. Her gaze still fits on the street of the city below. Ming answered, "You are early today." Not sure if Her Majesty herself is already observing the smoke rising from the corridor of her people. She did not turn to ascertain the identity of the smiling face behind her. It belonged to Nagram, her senior minister. The smile is courtly, genial, but deep within the narrowed eye, she knew there resided a dark gleam. "Today I will accompany Her Majesty in the inspection of the troops." "You?" "Yes, owing to a slight change in assignment today. Is that so?" "I am hardly up to the task, but I will do my best if Her Majesty will allow me to serve her in this capacity. I beg your permission." With her back still turned to Nagram, Ming gave a silent nod. "Ah, yes," she thinks to herself with a bitter smile. "Their plan goes into action today." Being a sense for a very long time that Nagram is up to no good, he apparently has seized command of a certain unit of the royal guards, scattered to the city too. His people are lying low, ready to set fire as soon as his orders come down. No doubt about it, today when the regular ceremonial inspection of the troop is scheduled to take place, is the perfect day for a coup. When Nagram leaves, Ming enters her office in some madness. The most senior of her minister, a true elder statesman and her most trusted confidant, Anne, who sports a luscious bird, has served Ming for over 40 years. Your Majesty, I understand Nagram was here earlier. Yes, apparently is to accompany me to the inspection of the troop. This is all she has to tell him. Stroking his bushy beard and say, does mean they run out of patience. I know, replied Ming. I'm sure they can wait to get started. What's a fool, Nagram is? He has absolutely no idea that your Majesty has been letting him set his own trap. If he were smart enough to realize that it would be taking at least 2 more years to make his preparation, then he would have much more power at his disposal. He could link up not just with the rear guard, but also the main body of the army and the police force. He could conspire with his external enemy and arrange for them to invade just as the ceremony were getting underway. Then his coup would probably succeed. If he had the longer-range vision to include the wealthy merchant and intelligentsia among his allies, he might even be able to mount a revolution that would overthrow the monarchy itself. This is what I would do if I were Nagram, as long as when undertaking a coup, I think about that much at least. Anne smiled, could not hide the fact that Tourist Turk so set for revolution was making him uncomfortable. Her Majesty is unmatched by an enemy except one, Her Majesty herself. You may be right, Ming thinks, if she had an enemy with an eternal life like her, who was willing to devote all the time needed to planning a revolution, be it our century or even 2. The result will surely go beyond revolution and develop a full-scale civil war. Human lives, however, are limited in duration, and because of this limitation, humans rush to achieve results before they are ready. Nagram is one of them. If he could live 200 years, to say nothing of 1,000, he would not be trying to take up arms at such an in-between point in time. Still, say Anne, I have to admit that Nagram was extended his force far more successfully than I ever imagined. What have I been doing all this time? I'm utterly ashamed of myself. Don't let it bother you, and thanks to your inattention, we will probably be able to smoke out many more rats. Ming gave a satisfied chuckle. Nor is this mere bravado on their part. They choose not to arrest Nagram in an early stage, but allow him to swim free for a while in order to take this opportunity to let the entire force of rebels both inside and outside the palace. Yes, I know, Anne's replying, and goes on to explain the plan for crushing the coup. His plan is impeccable. The coup was virtually no chance of succeeding. All they need to do is carry out the wholesale arrest of the rebel Royal Guard unit that rise up in the palace and partisans lurking in the city, and it will be some time before any more individuals with outsized ambition show up again. This will be our first purge in 15 years, Anne's remark. Has it been that long? Certainly yes, Your Majesty. This fine bear of mine was jet black last time. Anne's commanded the troop that put down the coup 15 years ago. Loyal, courageous and cool-headed, is the dear staff officer. Without a doubt, he is one of the very best military advisors Ming has had in over 1,000 years of the throne. All selfish on me, Hans, I should have let you retire years ago. That is out of the question, Your Majesty. Serving you is my life. I am deeply honored to have the fine opportunity to be of service. True, not even the super retainer could be with her through all eternity. In another 5 years, 10 at most, Hans, like the royal retainer of the past, will be ready to rest to the some military cannon. It is always like this, just as the ambition will rush to make their mark because they cannot live forever. The royal one in whom she can place her complete confidence stake their very lives on serving her because they cannot live forever. They carve their name in a single line of history, intending to depart from Ming for the rest of eternity. Ming herself too goes on living, eternal youth, immortality. So this is the dream of humanity, isn't it? None of them know the loneliness of eternal life. When Hans next addressed Ming, there is a new urgency in his voice. About the truth that will quell the uprising, I will command the one outside the palace. Do I have Her Majesty's permission to take command of the entire palace guard in the hand of my young protege, Jan? Yes. Yes, Jan. He may be young, but he is extremely capable. I have nurtured him carefully. I know he will serve Her Majesty splendid after this old soldier is gone. I would like to give him the opportunity to rescue himself in the current emergency. Ming herself is fully aware of Jan's outstanding quality, young as he most certainly is. He finds his daughter Chamberlain in both the civil and military art. It is undoubtedly the prime candidate to succeed Anne as Ming top general. What are Her Majesty's thoughts on the matter? Alright then, let him take the charge. Her Majesty, as my unbounded thanks, I'm sure Jan himself will be deeply moved to learn that he has earned Her Majesty's confidence. Hans all but prostrated himself before her, an expression of relief on his face at having obtained Ming's permission. But still he continued, Her Majesty has been away of Nagram for a very long time. True, she said. Meanwhile, this old soldier of yours has no idea whatever that Nagram might be planning a rebellion. I am deeply ashamed to confess it now, but to me it seemed the very mother of loyalty. How is it that Her Majesty was able to see Nagram for this loyalty? Ming only smiled without answering his question. The same thing happened at the time of the coup 15 years ago, and continued. The only reason that we were able to suppress the revolt before it even got started was that Her Majesty saw it coming before anyone else. Then as now I was blind to the traitor's plot. If you say so, Anne, has Her Majesty forgotten? Why, it was so long ago. Ming died to a big issue, there is no way she could have forgotten. The ringleader of the coup 15 years ago was her most trusted retainer. When she first broached the subject to Anne and the other, warning them to be on their guard against the men, all without exception insisted that he, above all, was beyond reproach. In the end, being suspicious proved to be correct. She knew, however faithfully carried out her order, however warmly his word his loyalty, she knew. This day, however, she has begun to wonder on occasion if that is something to be grateful for. The landscape is not the only thing that changed in 1,000 years. People are also changed. After numberless meetings and parting over the century, Mrs. come to realize the fragility, the evanescence of trust. She no longer trusts anything in words, neither can she fully trust everything in action. She knows by looking at a person's eyes, that way she can tell everything, to a mysterious and disheartening degree. In the eye of all those who will bring out to this country, without exception, there resides a dark gleam. It is there in all of them. The man plotting a coup, the man secretly involved with foreign enemy, the man threatening his post with heavy taxes wrung from the people, the female spy who seduced Prime Minister to extract the secret, the man who accepted huge bribe from merchant eager for the glory of becoming an official purveyor to the royalty household. Neither their words nor their deeds give them away. Often the man himself has no idea of the misdeed he will later commit. But Ming can tell, only being who has lived for 1,000 years. The silent voice tells her, be careful of this man, don't take your eyes off of that woman. That was not the case in her youth, but having repeatedly tasted the bitter spears of betrayal, having been assailed by her own regrets and suffered reproach, she has learned to doubt. Ming can see what no one else can, the dark gleam deep in the eyes. It is enabler to ward off a variety of disaster. Before they could start, the kingdom is managed to flourish because Mingers more often choose to doubt than to believe. It is the best course for her to follow as a queen. It is, however, an infinitely lonely way to live. Nagram's coup collapsed in an instant. The rebel unit of the Royal Guard voted as sworn against Ming during the expression of the troops in the plaza, because the prey of Yan and his men was being hiding under the perimeter. Meanwhile, the anti-rebel force under their command pounced on Nagram followers, was being gathering to set fire to the city and arrest them without resistance. Poor Nagram growls on the earth, begging for his life. To him, Ming said I grant you the right to die with honor. He soldier lays a sword before Nagram. Wordlessly, Ming conveyed to Nagram that it's time for him to take his own life. He turns on the rails and returns to the palace under armed escort. This will keep anyone from having to fomenting a rebellion for a while at least. The peace of the kingdom has been preserved, but it will not last forever. The memory of Nagram's coup begin to fade. 10 years from now, or 20, or even 100, another man with ambition will emerge as has happened so many times before. It is the role of the queen to accept the endless repeating cycle, Ming tells herself, sighing. Ming is standing at the palace window, surveying the city street below, when Yan enters the room. Your Majesty, I just to report that Naga successfully took his own life a short while ago. Oh, did he dispatch himself in dignity? He did. They tortured was he died in a way befitting of a commanding general. Returned his body to his family without due ceremony. He turned and stared straight at Yan, whose spine stiffened under the onslaught of her gaze. And then she sees, without a doubt, that Algarin flashed deep within his eye for one fleeting instant. So Yan is another one, is he? She thinks with a bitter smile. Unable to fathom the meaning of her smile, Yan is at loss for words. Thank you for your effort, Ming said to him. Suppressing a sigh, she turned to the windows again. The sky stretched overhead in a span of blue. The only thing unchanged for the past 1,000 years may be the blue of the sky. But still I am the queen, Ming tells herself. Meditating on her role, I am the one who rules this country and maintains the people's happiness. She gazes long and hard at the sky, rising to her full proud height. Oh look, it's Queen Ming. Little boy in the hallway below the castle stopped Ming obeying, waving little wildly. Queen Ming, Queen Ming! A woman, the boy's mother, no doubt, charged out of a doorway and bowing humbly to Ming, begins scolding the boy for his behavior. Ming herself, however, was back at him, a passing smile on her face. Smiling joyfully at this unexpected response for Her Majesty the Queen, the boy started jumping up and down, shouting, Lolling Queen Ming, Lolling Queen Ming. Ming stared again at the sky above, unchanged through it has been for 1,000 years. The blue of the sky penetrated more deeply into her eyes and her heart than it ever did in this day of her youth.
ホワイトボアを使ってはどうでしょう。
ホワイトボアを？
船ならノーチラスがあるじゃねえか。
この先の流氷域を突破するには船体で氷を砕きながら進まなければなりません。ホワイトボアなら氷を砕くことができます。
ああ、確かにノーチラスじゃ氷相手には力不足だな。今度ばかりはこっちの分が悪いな。
すみません。でもノーチラスには他に真似できない高い機動性があるではありませんか。またお世話になる時が来ます。その時は力を貸してください。
おう、任せときな。
ホワイトボアならノーチラスを収容できるはずだよ。場所によって使い分けるのが良さそうだ。
そうですね。では 私は先に港に向かい出港の指揮を取っていましょう。
ミン、
何です？
戻るのか？俺たちの世界ではなくこの国に。それでいいのか？1000年は長いぞ。
この世界に大切なものがたくさんできたのです。カイム、あなたはどうするの？
Okay, let's save. Load base. What if I was in the palace during the bombings? To be shattered just thinking about it. Some interest. But I can't. Oh, excuse me, sir. I've just stated ourselves as finish up by clean justice and... Chief Mind discipline me again. Will you be able to keep this a secret from the Queen at least? Welcome, you must be tired. Please enjoy your stay. Vorrei mai exakt indekas. Okej. The cursed lady was denied access to the palace that day. Not to think about it, perhaps the Queen foresaw the attack before it happened. Okay. Should have already taken everything if there. Room I didn't enter. Then I just to enter again the same one. You're a different one. which is just the route. Power drink. Okay, narrow read. Have the queen with me. Is this where I was the first time? No. Maybe this one. See. Another room here. General Kakamas is clueless when it comes to music. She had more time to listen to music for relaxation. Maybe we wouldn't have this rebellion to worry about. Another seed. Check if I took everything around here. This winner chamber is strictly forbidden during renovation. Welcome, you just received a report on General Kakanas. Odyssey. can I get? So G B A D G A B G D R G D E A G A I B G D A D G A B G D R G D E A G A D E B E Congratulations. Elfin charm. Nice. Journalist, max number of slot. Odyssey. Could be 10. Immortal. E tanto anche Steve Use Nome Network. Gamble is level 2. Never use it. Possibility of using gamble make it better. Magic Seal. Remove the counter. Okay, let's go to the port. This place. Someone else. Not her memory. Portraits of the dead. She's always some mourning clothes with her. That way she can be in a portrait as soon as requests come in, and so it is today. Having slipped into her morning dress in the shed of the pier, she boards the downstream ferry. Her hands are full, one hold the case with her painting tools and the other the garment bag for her morning dress. She asserts that a rich man lies dead in a town 20 kilometers downstream. Her name is Rosa. It's a race against time, she said with a grim smile. You have to start as soon as possible before the face changes. Changes how? Kai asked. It's hard to say. There's a deepening strength to Rosa's smile, but I know it when I see it. When a person has gone from this side to the other side. Once they are gone over, I can paint them. It is not in a way that will please the family. It just can't be done. Rosa is a professional portraits of the dead. The custom of preserving dead mask is now what they practice in this area. Family to portray an artist dab the face of the newly deceased with dye and preserve the loved one's death with expression on a cloth pressed against the dyed face. Some families make a dead mask with the plaster. Only the wealthiest family can afford to hire a professional like Rosa. So that lurking in the background of the individual's death, there can be a variety of disputes. I've heard of families quarreling over the inheritance behind my back, killing as I sit there sketching the dead person. One widow presented my portrait of her husband to the court to prove that he had been poisoned. Another time, some loan shark waited until the moment the man died and charged her right into the house. One husband tried to spit in his wife's face as soon as she gave up the ghost. Apparently she had been unfaithful to him for years. Rosa tells her story with utter detachment. She revealed no emotion at all. This, she says, is indispensable to become an outstanding portrait of the dead. You have to open your sketchbook and get your brushes going with the bereaved family member right there. Overcome this with grief. There's no way you can produce a good portrait if you become emotional or allow yourself to be swept up in the emotion of the other people in the house. Cain responds with a sad nod. His only connection with the woman is to have borrowed the same boat and sat at the same table in the cafe on the deck. And a few minutes have passed since she started volunteering her story. But that is all it has taken for Cain to perceive the hint of nihilism lurking in her beautiful feature. The more respectable artist despises painter like me. Why is that? Well, half of them accuse us of making our living from people's death. The others look down on us for not being moved by what we do. I see their point. I mean, the emotion are what give rise to all the acts. Whenever it's painting, sculpture, music or literature, we don't have emotion like that. We are nothing but craftsmen. Also speak without a hint of either self-mockery or pride. Her tone suggests that she's merely stating the obvious in an obvious way. Cain take a sip of his rye whiskey and Rosa drink from her hospitality. The boat makes its leisurely way downstream. The season is spring, the river is high with snow melt and white water birds have settled on its surface. Strange, Rosa said with a giggle. When I first saw you, I thought you and I must be members of the same profession, which is why I took the initiative to speak to you. Cain gave us a rusty smile. You know nothing about painting. He is very certain there is nothing about his appearance that would cause him to be mistaken for an artist. It well could be, however, that in the profile of this man drinking whiskey alone in the afternoon, Rosa recognized the hue of Anini's like her own. Or then again, she may have perceived the shadow of the other side clinging fast to Kaim's back. Until a few days ago, Kaim was on the battlefield. There he witnessed the willing of many enemies and many allies, but he was unmoved by any of it. Such youthfulness had long since vanished from him. Throughout word and change, Kaim is living through several centuries. Rosa says that she is in her mid-30s and in her 10th year since becoming a portraitist of the dead, which apparently puts her near the beginning of her career. If you wouldn't mind, she adds, I have a few more things I would like to discuss with you. When Kaim nods silently in compliance, Rosa thanks him and gives him her first smile of the day. Portraitists of the dead are never present while the subject is dying. The very fact that such a profession has been called means that the person dead is imminent, and so there is seen as the person of film and even defilement. A family member or friend was being at the bedside there to broach the subject quietly in another room. Don't you think it may be time to call a painter? The answer, whenever too soon for that, or I think you may be right, is the revealing undertone. Introduced to the family by the church, the portraitist never entered the house by the front door. Rather, he or she goes around to the back and issues to a room where the sun cannot penetrate. There the painter changes into morning clothes and waits for the announcement of the dead. Eventually, a quiet knock of the door is followed by someone to appear in the painter's dress in morning set to work. Nor that, of course, at the end of a long lifetime, of course. All too often, the painter must depict the face of the one who has died young, of illness or accident. The face that emerges in the artist's sketchbook radiates the delicate vivacity of one who has just crossed the border dividing life and death, one who has only the moment before transited from this world to the other world. The work presented to the family is an oil painting done from the sketch, while also believe the sketch itself is far more authentic portrait of the dead. There's nothing quite like the atmosphere in a room where someone has just died. How to put it? It's as though the flow of time has stopped, or time itself emerged into the vanished air. The sobbing and the wailing sound as if the night lasts forever, the only movement of time in all this begin. The way the face of the dead person emerges little by little onto the blank white page of the sketchbook. Shells in her thick sketchpad. See? She says, showing Encanto's face of the dead. This is 2 years' worth. Many of the faces are peaceful, but others are full of agony, and all without exception possess a mysterious presence. They differ unmistakably for facing sleep, neither, however, do they look dead. They seem as if they might open their eyes any moment, or just as easily crumble into ash. They, however, men and women alike, on the very brink of death. After the body is cooled, it's too late. It's also too late if the family has begun making its preparation for the funeral. The game is won or lost into very few minutes following the death itself. All we can do is start sketching as efficiently as expeditiously as possible. With a painful smile or sad in the eye of the family, that makes me a cold-hearted woman. Came through the page of the sketchbook, saying nothing. He would like to tell her that it's the same on the battlefield. There, no one has time to mourn the death of a soldier. If you are busy shedding tears instead of doing the next thing you have to do, you end up being one of those forced to travel to the other world. The final sketch in the book is unfinished, the face of a young girl. The general outline of the hair and face are sketched in, nothing more. Kaim looked questioningly at Rosa. My daughter, she said softly. But why? A portrait painter of the dead reached full maturity in the profession where she is able to paint a member of her own family, which only makes sense. I mean, also assuming is it if you can be called the objective or the death of a stranger, but not to all a member of your own family. Her daughter died 2 years ago. The girl's 3 short years of life brought to a sudden end by a bad flu that was making the rounds. I was holding her hands almost until the moment she died, Rosa said. I was in tears, calling her name and pleading with her to come back to me, not to die. After the doctor looked at her with a shake of his drooping head, Rosa released her daughter hand and opened a sketchbook. Wiping her tears, she picked up her pencil and tried to sketch her daughter's face. But I couldn't do it. The tears came pouring out of me, no matter how much I wiped them. I simply couldn't work. Came to his gaze onto the unfinished sketch again. Some area of the white paper were wavy. Perhaps Rosa's tear had fallen. I guess I'm not qualified to be a portraitist of the dead, she said with a smile and sit down at the river. But still, if I had to choose one work of art to leave behind, this would be it. They both give a blast of steam frightened and the blurs of the river leap into the air in a great mass. Caim crossed the sketchbook and returned it to Rosa. He considered complimenting her on the excellence of the drawing. But your silence instead, such pace he feel could be a sign of disrespect for her work, for Rosa herself, and for her dead daughter. I didn't mean to bend your ear like this, she said. I'm sorry. She stand and pierced Cain once again. Rito, you look like a member of my profession. Cain gave her a thin smile and shook his head. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. She responded with a strange smile of her own. You probably won't like my saying this either, but please call me if you ever need a portraitist of the dead. I won't need one, Kay said. I have no family. Well then, when your own time come, with a chuckle, Saib, her right hand gasped the case with her penny supplies, her left the garment bag with the morning clothes. Unfortunately, Ken will never need a service. You cannot go to the other world just yet. On the long road of his life, how many deaths must he encounter? They steered more bust again. The boat gathered over its speed and edged toward the river bank. The landing was closer. When he left the boat, his journey will begin again. It should be a long journey. Next battlefield lies far beyond the mountain that tower in the distance. You quit taking around the... Oh, it's you, never mind then. Okay. Hey, wait up. You're not my brother. I'm sorry, mister. Must have caused some trouble for you. Look, you're not gonna get lost if you keep that up. I told you to wait while I get you the balloon, didn't I? I don't want to drink. Don't forget me now, you hear? Brother dear, the cry comes from behind as he waits to the post-town crowd. At first Cain does not realize the person is addressing him and he walks on in search of a lodging for the night. But the cry comes again, all back clinging to him. Brother dear, big brother, this is puzzling. You last visited the town 8 years ago. There can be anyone here who know him. Wait, be back, don't go. His puzzled mind begin to take on an eerie edge, for the voice addressing him as big brother can only belong to an old woman. Without letting his guard down, he threw slowly. Just as he threw, it is an old woman, dressed in the clothing of a young girl. The tiny old woman is looking straight at Caim with a bright smile on her face. I think you may have the wrong person, he said, allowing discomfort to show. No, I don't, she said, with a big shake of her head and an expanding smile. Your big brother Caim. What? What's wrong, Caim? Did you forget me? Well, I mean, he can't place her. Even if he were to succeed in doing so, he knows he has no acquaintance in this town. He wonders, could this be a chance to encounter with someone he once met on the road? But no, he's sure he doesn't recognize her. And the strangest of all, why should this woman blue close enough to be his grandmother, addressing him as big brother? Don't pretend you don't know who I am, Cain. You're so mean. She yelled at him loud enough that people in the crowd stopped and stared at them. It is not just the fact that she is shouting, of course, people always have to shout to be heard in this crowded street. That alone will not attract attention. The woman's voice is different from a normal loud yell. It is like the innocent and restrained cry of a little girl who throws her whole body into a scream. People threw shocked expression on the old woman and quickly averted their eye. Their dismay is understandable. The woman has her stark white hair tied up with a colorful ribbon, and her dress is the same for her pattern and the floppy sleeve as a little girl. Many of the passersby look at the old woman with a mix of sympathy and pity on their face. Gradually, Cain begins to comprehend the situation. This old woman has simply lived too long. This is why the past, locked away in her memory, has become nearer to earth and the reality before her eyes. A middle-aged passerby tugs on Cain's elbow. If I were you, I would just walk away. Don't get involved with her, she will be nothing but trouble. It's true, said the wife by his side, nodding. You're a stranger here, so you don't know what this old woman is saying, Alla. You can ignore her, she will forget everything in 5 minutes. They may be right, but the fact is this old woman knows Cain's name, and the little girl part of her mind, she thinks of Cain as her big brother. It tries probing his distant memory. He spent no more than a few days here so long ago. He got to know very few people, and there can be any of those left who still remember him. When Cain goes on standing before the old woman, the nosy middle-aged couple become indignant. You try to be helpful, and what does it get you? Snorts the husband. Let them work it out themselves, as the wife. Let's just go, which they proceed to do. Winding up her voice from maximum shrillness, the woman called out to them as they were out off enough. Don't forget me now, you hear? In that instant, Kay memory makes the connection. The old woman greeted this look of recognition with an expression of joy. Do you remember me now? She cried. I'm Shushu, it's me, Shushu. He does remember a little girl he met in this town 8 years ago. Perhaps 5 or 6 years old at the time. She was a precocious little thing whose lack of shyness with strangers came from her being the daughter of an innkeeper. Somewhere along the way she had probably picked up a fresh hair someone using, and so whenever I guess would depart after a number of days at the inn, instead of the standard goodbye or thank you, she would see the person off with a smiling cheery, don't forget me now, you hear? Only now, when he suddenly able to see the girl beneath the wrinkle, Kaima severed his gaze from the other one's face. What's wrong, you brother? He cannot bring himself to direct a Shushuvakan stare. 8 years have gone by. What can they talk about when a man who never ages meet a little girl from the distant past, who has aged too much? Let me through here, please. Sorry, let me through here, please. Forcing his way through the crowd, a young man rushes up to a Shushu and Kaima standing. Great grandmother, how often we have to ask you not to go out without telling me? After scolding the old woman, he turns to Kaima with an apologetic bow. I'm terribly sorry if she's been a bother to you. She's old and gets senile. I hope you can forgive her. Shushu herself, however, angrily pursued deep and demanded to know. What are you talking about? I'm just staying with the broker Kaima. What's wrong with that? She peers at the young man and asks, who are you? The young man turned a sad gaze on Kaima and began to apologize again. With a pained smile, Kaima stopping. Kaima noted at the time it can be said that more heartbreaking for a life to be prolonged than for it to be cut short. Said that heartbreaking to a life may be, however, no one is there to temper on it. She just can't seem to get it to her head as she sold, even if I hold the mirror up to her, she asked, who's that old lady? The young man was naming Cash, further explained the situation to Kaima. She might forget that she ate breakfast, but her memories for a child who can be clear as a bell. Kaim nodded in silent understanding. Cash and Kaim sit on a bench in the town plaza, watching Shushu pick flower. She's apparently making a floral wreath for a long-lost big brother. But Lisa, do you have time for this? Are you in a hurry to get somewhere? No, I'm fine, don't worry. Thanks very much. He smiled for the first time and said, I haven't seen her this happy in ages. The young man seemed convinced that his great-grandmother has encountered in Kaima a person who resembles someone she knew as a child. Kaima noticed, he knew that Cash cannot and did not imagine the season of a person who never ages. Her heart has deteriorated lately. Whenever she had a fever, we wonder if this is going to be the end for her, and we prepare for the worst. But then she springs back. Sometimes we joke that her mind is so far gone she forgotten to die. Can you see the young man in profile? Crash is a gentle smile on his face as he speaks of his great-grandmother. No doubt, when he was little, she used to hold him and play with him. Grown up now, Cash watches over his great-grandmother like a parent watches his own child. He calls out to her, that's a nice great-grandmother. I haven't seen you with flower to little like that for a long time. Squatting the grass with a fistful of flower, Shushu answered, that's not true, I made a wreath for him yesterday. Then she said to Kaim, isn't that right, big brother? You wore it in your hair for me, didn't you? Kaim cupped his hand around his mouth and called back to her, I certainly did, it smells so nice. Shushu's face became a mass of joyful wrinkle, overcome with emotion. Cash bows his head. Kaim asked Cash, are you the one who take care of her? Me and my wife Cynthia. How about your parent, or even your grandparents, are they still living? Cash shrugged and said, I'm the only other member of my family left alive. His grandparents both died in an epidemic 20 years ago. His father lost his life in the war that enveloped Israel 10 years ago. His mother, Shushu granddaughter, aged more rapidly than her mother, and the lamp of her life was snuffed out 5 years ago. So my great-grandmother has had to keep holding funeral over the years for her children and grandchildren before we notice she had become the oldest person in town. They must be lonely living that way, I'm sure, answered Caim. It might even be a kindness of the gods that people fade out mentally when they live too long. At least that's how I've come to see it lately. You will think she would feel lonely to be left behind that way, but she's not lonely at all. To live long means you have a lot of memories. There is not such a bad thing to live in the world of your memories during the last day of your life. Should you stand up around filled with flour? My brother Caim, I'm going to make a flower wreath for you right now. And if I have any flour left over, I'll make one for the other person too. Caim and Kashi look at each other with bewildered smile. Why are you smiling like that? Shushu asked. Are you two friends now? She already wrinkling the eyes, wide in surprise. Give that to manager for smile and collapse into the grass. Kasia started to run for a doctor, but then grabbed his arm and moved him back, saying, You better stay with her. Enrique Caim, who can never truly know what it feels like to age, has been present for the very reason it counters death over the years. His experience tells him that Shushu will not recover this time. Shushu is lying on her back where she has fallen, and an armload of flour now spread over her chest. Her face was a smile. Wait just a minute, brother Caim. I'll make you a fight for you right away. Her mind is still lingering among her memories of the past. She stay like this for the very end. Keep fighting, grandmother, don't let go. Cash came to her and tearfully shouted encouragement, but she may not even realize that it's your own great-grandson. It's me, grandmother, it's me, Cash. You've forgotten me, have you? I baited you last night. You knew who I was then, didn't you? Cash appeared to her with all his might, but she showed a girlish smile on her lip, is departing for that distant world. I'm going to be a father soon, great-grandmother, remember? I told you last night, Cynthia has a baby inside. It's going to make you a great-grandmother. Our family is going to grow. Another person with your flesh and blood. Still manages to sugar one on her flower on her chest in her temporary finger. She touched over Cash, and it was more than a whisper. She said, Don't forget me now, you hear? Keisha doesn't understand. Indeed, how could I know that the little fish always used to speak long before he was born? Caim put his arm on Cash's shoulder and said, Answer her. I know what you mean, great-grandmother. I won't forgive you. I will absolutely never forget you. I couldn't forget my own great-grandmother. Don't forget me now, you hear? I won't forget you, great-grandmother, believe me. I will also remember you. Don't forget me now, you hear? Shushu closed her eye and laid her hand on the flower on her chest, as if she was groping there for something. She seemed almost to be trying to open the door where the memories are seared. A soft breeze moved over her, the flower adorning her chest, dancing in the wind along with her memories. Surely among those memories is the Caim of 8 years ago. Caim snatched one of the petals dancing in the wind and crushed it in the palm of his hand. Shushu will never open her eyes again. She has left on a journey to a world where there is no past or present. The only one she has left behind are Caim, who will go on living forever, and Cash is about to welcome a new life into the world. Clinging to her pose, Cash raised his testing face to look at Caim. Thank you so much, he said to Caim the traveler. Thank you, my great-grandmother was so happy to be picking flowers at the very end. No, it wasn't thanks to me, Caim asked. He closed his fist over the petal in his hand and said to Cash, I'm sure if she had made the right, she would have given it to your sweet new baby. Cash shyly cocked his head and muttered, I hope you're right, but then smiling to his tears in the curve. I'm sure you are. About that promise you made to her, be good and don't forget her. No, of course not. People go on living and so there remains someone's memory. With this gone, Caim began to walk slowly away. Behind him he heard Shushu's voice. Don't forget me now, big brother Caim. You hear? In the voice of the little girl from 8 years ago, ringing ever clear, sweet and innocent, declaring farewell to the man who will travel life forever. Hey, you can just take that. Hey, come back here. Haha, make me. Bah, get me every time. I'm gonna teach you my lesson one of these days. Back to back. Lottery of life. Having kids is like playing the lottery. That was how the police commissioner put it, with a grim smile on the side. He was the man in charge of domestic security. Sometimes you pick a winner, and sometimes you pick a loser. Life is like that, you can control it. Caim responded with a silent nod, not that he was convinced that you could divide people into winners and losers, but that was how they did it here in this country that was the size of a city. He had no choice but to recognize its reality, because the men who kept the peace here believed it, and this nation was known for having the best public safety for the countries in the region. Every kid in there is a loser, he spat out, jerking his chin toward the juvenile prison visible from his office window. Built toward the young criminal, this was the largest and the most tightly run and most closely guarded prison to be seen in any of the neighboring countries. Its treatment of its young inmate was also the harshest. You're a foreigner, Caim, so you may not approve, but we have our own way of doing things. I see, Caim said. Losers are losers. There's nothing you can do to make losers into winners. It's never going to happen. Far from it, if you call them losers, they just turn into bigger losers and give the decent people a lot of trouble. See what I mean? That one way of looking at things, Caim the arbitrary irony was lost on the police commissioners. No, it's the only way. If we're going to have a safe, peaceful country, we will expect you to abide to this view too. Caim had nothing more to say to him. If he were to insist on confronting the police commissioner, He might be seen as a questioning the authorities, which could land him in the Lord's prison. This will be easy enough to bring about for the police commissioner, and indeed for anyone in the city-state who stood on the side of the powers that be. The commissioner glanced away toward the juvenile prison they built that place 8 years ago. He said, which is to say the very first building they made when the present political system came to be was a prison to a young offender into. Caim knew this, for Caim was life went on forever. Events of 80 years before could well have happened yesterday. 8 years earlier, this country had experienced a coup d'etat. The revolutionary government ruled the people under military dictatorship and jailed every last person suspected of disturbing the peace and order. The government was especially wary of younger criminals. There is a limit to how serious a kid can be, but let them get away with this, and the next thing you know, they are doing really bad stuff. They might be satisfied with shoplifting at first, but soon they are into burglary, mugging, they start using weapons, and in the end, they think nothing of killing people. You have to nip them in the bud. The kids sent to prison were fed the absolute minimum to keep them alive. No doctor saw them if they fell sick or injured. Subjected to such harsh imprisonment, they succumbed one after another, and more than a few of them ended up as cold corpse pitched out the back door. Whenever one did manage to serve out this term and return to the outside world, he found it impossible to erase the brain of loser. Children with criminal record were soundly rejected by a respectable society. The social system was structured in such a way that nothing worked for them. Employment, marriage, even finding a place to live. Expelled by society, this boy and girl returned to crime as a way to stay alive, eventually ending up in a Jewish prison. With a bitter smile, the police commissioner said to Caim, "I'm sure this will sound terrible to an outsider like you." Caim answered with a slight nod. This only served to increase the bitterness of the commissioner's smile. "I know that you're thinking," he said, "and to tell you the truth, I sometimes think this is a little too harsh on them too. But you have to realize that we're not just punishing bad kids, we're also holding them up as an example to the good one. What would they think if they saw that criminal out on the street again, working along like nothing ever happened? They would feel that even if they got their hands dirty and spent a few years in jail, they could just go back to their own lives, that society punishment is no big deal, that they can get away with murder. We wouldn't want our kid to be like that, would we? So the only thing is for us grown up to teach them, look at those guys, we can say, all it takes is one bad deed and your life is over. You would better listen to your parents and teacher and be good." He definitely had a point. Cain was willing to grant him that, but still the commissioner must have noticed a hint of shadow crossing Cain's face, and he shifted his tone of voice. The bureaucratic convention, he declared, the authority have received word that there is going to be a coup. Of course, the military have everything under control, so there is nothing to worry about. They could suppress it right now if they wanted to. They could easily attack the agitators and capture the regress of the plot. In this case, though, they have decided to let him get started in order to smoke out every last one of the reactionary elements. According to the government intelligence, the uprising was scheduled to occur that very night. They were prepared for just about any eventuality, but there is always the possibility of the unexpected. If there were a riot inside the juvenile prison time to coincide with the rebellion, that could be a real problem. This is why Caim is behind as a temporary prison guard, the bodyguard for the state. We're counting on your skills as a seasoned warrior, which is why we're entrusting you with such a major responsibility. Be sure you live up to your expectation. If you have to resort to violence, we have no problem with that. Whatever you do, it will be for the sake of the law and order. It will be in order to protect the happy lives of decent citizens of our nation. Carry out your duties with complete dedication of body and soul. The commissioner handed Caim a one-page document. It was literally a license to kill. act without the stated restraint, or the prison guard one of these. But still, if you hesitate to impose the ultimate punishment on a single loser, then countless winner among the upstanding citizenry must suffer the consequences. You understand, I'm sure, once a loser, always a loser. Better than living with such a burden, they themselves might be happier to have you killed them and get it over with. Can you accept the document from the commissioner without comment? That completes our contractual arrangement. Now assume your post. With a perfectly straight face, the commissioner cautioned Cain, just make sure you don't let any foolish companions get in your way. Compassion. The season in winter, but came from no hint of fire burning in the juvenile prison. In the tiny solitary cell, the young inmate wrapped in a rag blanket lay helplessly in the dark. Painful moaning came from one cell, suggesting its inmate may be running a fever. From another came a broken shrill laughter that could only the person mind snap. What you see is what you get, said the veteran guard, getting Caim on his first round of inspection. Not one of those faces show any life, so you name is something were to happen. This peaceful creature could do a damn thing. They are loose, alright, they are breathing, but what's about it? Is there really no possibility of them being rehabilitated and becoming winners? The Targaryen came momentary blank stare intensely with a laugh and a wave. No, not at all. 80 years in the revolution, and the chain of generation that persevered virtually all of the people from that time. Since coming of age, the prison guard had no memory of the life before the revolution, had been implanted with the idea that people were either winner or loser, and surely never doubted it. They went out of their way to argue, so it might be a little strange for me to say this, but I'm sure the kid in here are never going to riot, no matter how wild things get on the outside. Especially to hold water on them, they were quite let down. There's almost none of them you were to worry about. Almost. Well, I can claim that about every single one of them. They are even looser among the losers, unfortunately. The guy shook Caim to the end of the hall, and there he opened the lock on the door. So thick it could be mistaken for a section of a wall. Beyond there, the punishment cell. These were with the incorrigible losers, the one who were caused our work-ditters, the one who take a defiant attitude, the one who showed no sign of remorse for their crime. Suddenly was scared to Caim. It was scared to him because he had experienced countless battlefields in his life. The punishment cell was darker and far colder than the regular cell, but from the depth of the darkness from within each individual cell, there remained a quiet heat that could not be felt from the regular cell. The people in here were alive. They were not simply breathing, they were alive with real passion. The kind that originally got them locked up here were nothing much. A little burglary, some purse snatching, brushing a knife, stuff like that. If they had just quietly served up their times, they would be out now, living obscure life somewhere. Instead, they resisted and kept resisting. They called for a better treatment of inmate. They appeared for an end to discrimination against former prisoners. The number of their crime multiplied until it became clear they would never get out of there alive. They would just go straight from here to the other prison when they grow up. It will be 20 or 30 years before they can breathe outside there again, if they can live that long, which will be quite an accomplishment. The girl concluded with a belly-shaking laugh, which was interrupted by a voice echoing from a dark cell. Stop that laughing, it was a quiet but commanding voice, through one that retained a hint of boyishness. A look of fear crossed the girl's face, so he quickly reverted to a sneer. This is the biggest pain we got, he said. His name is Dian. They say he was the leader of a gang of juvenile delinquents on the outside, but here is just a noisemaker. The guard picked up a bucket of water from the corridor floor with a thin sheet of ice on its surface and leave the content into Dian's cell. This is what works best on these kids, Ben the bar, the danger boy, had rolled himself up in a ball. There should be enough for them to freeze to death, but the watery surface again in the early morning, so tender and lashes, and another rare they get gotten in ice, so most of them have lost fingers and throat frostbite. The guards laugh again. The young leader curled up, but his eye was shining with such intensity. It was as if he were trying to melt ice with hate sitting in his breast. Cain knew to sigh. They were the eye of a warrior, and not just any warrior, but one of the very frontliners in battle, who watches for a chance to turn the battle in his favor. And Cain knew something else, that the system was beginning to unravel. If it had kept the people in the state of oppression for 80 long years, ever since the revolution, at the very moment of its undoing had arrived. The prison fire started at night. Cain meets the coup. The guard came running to report the situation from the outside. Fire had been set to the city, he said. This was of course the uprising the government intended had anticipated. Martial law was declared and the government was mobilizing the entire police force and army. Order come to that the ring leader was already under arrest. One element, however, has been more than anticipated. The guard informed him the wind is strong tonight. Fan by seasonable winds, the flame was racing to the city. An order from the commissioner were not to fight fire in the general prison. Is that clear? In other words, no one will be coming to save the inmate. It can be helped, said the guard. The army and the fire department, all they can do to put out fire in the city and evacuate the people. They can spare any man to protect this place, and will be in order to join in the rescue effort in town. Against that mean we let the kids out. This was a given, came assumed. Left looked up in the cell, the young inmate was burned to death. Don't be ridiculous, they rushed back. The kid are all losers. We're going to the tables look at them in here, and now we're supposed to let them out. Are you serious? Cain replied. Are you serious? I can't believe you say anything so stupid. I'm telling you they're losers. We don't have time to save them. We are certainly not going to let them run loose. The commissioner would never allow such a thing. You obviously meant every word he was saying. You were planning to let them die. The flame was spreading quickly and screamed could be heard to the prison. There was no time to appear directly to the commissioner. In such an appeal will only end inferior, he was sure. Give me the cell keys, Cain said. You're joking, the guy laughed. There was only one thing to do. Without a word, Cain landed a punch in the guard's solar plexus. The guard went down in a heap and Cain threw the clump of key from his belt. The first cell he opened was beer. The boy came out looking confused. Are you one of us? He asked Cain. Are you with the coup? Not interested, he answered. So why are you letting us go? Dylan asked. Because I don't like dividing people up into winners and losers. Thanks, Dylan said. Sporting a big grin, he took the key from Cain and turned away to start opening the other cell. I want you to come back, Cain said to him from behind. What's that? This is an emergency evacuation. When the sun comes up and the fires are out, I want you to come back here. You kids still haven't finished paying for your crimes. You must be kidding. Not at all, Cain said. If you kids run away, that will just prove they're right. Once a loser is always a loser. Is that alright with you? Don't you want to show the one who ruled the county that they are wrong, that people can change? But we will never get another chance like this. This group is going to fail. You can run around all you want, but they're going to catch you in the end. You will also be branded the loser. They might even kill you when they catch you. The answer to stare came. The prison was already surrounded by flames. Against this battle backed up, the eyes still burned with the fighting spirit of a warrior. This country political system can last much longer. The day will come when you kids killed in prison with yourself die. I absolutely believe that, and because I believe it, I don't want to see you die for nothing. Came through from the end to pull the girl up from the floor. Come back after sunrise. With his final admonition to the end, He moves the gun onto his back and charges away. This event occurred 50 years ago. In Air of Freedom provvede Counting Owen can visit 50 years later. True, he does catch a glimpse of young, tough, and juvenile delinquent with the nightlife tries, but if it is just a sign of free and easy times, in all back call out to him, "You're a traveler," and came notes in the man's eye with a smile. "You're in luck, we're having a celebration in Revolution Square today. I hear the Gandol men of the revolution is going to attend and it to keep going all night long." A celebration? That's right, I see you're too young to know what happened here in the old days. We had a coup 50 years ago. To this very day, the coup itself is put down in one night, but they're able to set fire to the city, so the rest of us were running around like crazy in all direction. Far by the wind, a flame quick enveloped the whole city, and a lot of the city people were standing on a sandbar downwind. I was one of them. I had my pregnant wife and baby daughter with me, so I couldn't just dive into the river to escape. Before he knew it, a spark was raining down on the sandbar, and a few we were down for. We were all burned to death as soon as the daggers caught fire. Just as if we were given a pop, he said, helping it was extended from them was a lucky source. The kids from the juvenile prison came to help us. They were all skin and bone, and their prison uniforms were falling apart. The prison staff hardly fed them a thing. They pulled what little strength they had. They saved all force and cheetah from the sandbar, and they struggled to douse the fire that caught in the daggers. I saw one boy carry a child across the river and collapse and died the second after he reached the outer shore, and some of the ones who were fighting gas fire were overcome with smoke and burned to death. They risked their life to save us. They told lives were not worth living, but those losers risked their life to save the life of winners like us. When the sun came up and they could be sure that the fire was safely out, the young inmates went back to the juvenile prison. Yes, it's true. The place was an absolute hell for them, but they went back inside just the same. Not one of them took advantage of the confusion to run away. They played strictly by the rules, wouldn't you say? They were removed by their behavior, and people started saying that maybe it was a loser, and their good points after all. Maybe once a loser, always a loser was wrong. The whisper spread to the country, quietly but surely. Soon the view emerged that the treatment of juvenile prison inmates should be improved. Another increase widely held view was that society ought to welcome its inmates more warmly once they had paid for their crimes. Finally, the change in attitude toward loser children took the shape of dissatisfaction with the political system that they continued to foster such a dictatorship, and 40 years ago a second coup occurred. This next coup took the shape of a citizen revolution that involved the masses, and for that reason it succeeded. That's how the form of government but today got its start. Listening to the old man's reminiscence, Cain found himself smiling and nodding again and again deeply moved. The last thing the old man is the name of the hero who led the revolution and became his first president of the new government, the army. Tens of thousands of people are getting Revolution Square as fireworks sent off. In a brass band played the Russian national anthem. The gathered men of the revolution take to the shape amid thunderous cheers and applause. Dear, numbers, dear, advancing near now, and the enemy sees remove himself from the center of politics. He has this red that beautiful fiery gleam in his eyes. There is no way for him to spot Cain in the assembled throng. And even if we were to notice him, we could never imagine that this young man and change from 50 years ago was the temporary prison guard of that fateful night. Still the leader proclaimed, people can change and then winners or loser. His were greeted with cheers and fireworks, and the time of the celebration reaches its peak. Cain his way to a stand at the far end of the square and buys himself a cup of liquor. He raises his cup to the hero of the revolution, who from this distant vantage point appeared for him no larger than a speck. I caso degli ingressi in Corvette o dei prestiti strongly con spassi stolti di Fesuit e Melorf artista. che diavolo, ok. There is nothing here. There's some secret fight here at some point. We just have to rest and the game does everything else automatically. Di sì, Felipe. Ah, I'm just sleeping. Okay, so it's something important. Let's talk with more guards then. Vedere che nessuno non muore. Ok. Non dove tu. I have to reach that place. But where do I go? Nothing here. It was just like this. Okay. Didn't catch the perspective. Okay, can I get some more stuff? vehicle at the moment notice, please get on the ramp. Car, when you're ready. I have something back in town, please could you hold just a minute while I go get it? This kind of puts me in a bind. I can let you through, but if you miss the boat, the crew and I will get in more trouble. This sends us to the wet wall. Well, sir, what's your step? We'll go talk to the queen. Gongor paid gods for attacking his coronation ceremony with a gun staff. Having seen this, the system will become devout, believing Gongor and the gun staff. There are two who speak out against him, but they're few and far between. Matura's Nets is going to decide if the world will descend into war or not. During our investigation, a gun staff was located on the Sea of Baus. Was it turning the energy of the Sea of Baus ever current to magic power into the other world recharging? After Gonga receives the energy up in well, he may return to the gun staff on the Sea of Baus and to recharge again. Where's the gun staff on off to now? I've rejoiced to find it. Hello Towers, we worked to one of the switching gimmick. The people of Fur accepted Gongar as their king ultimately because of my failure, but we will not allow Gongar to get away with it anymore. We have Cook and Mac gone off to now, just children crawling to everything. Equipment build engineer, so we're meeting the same place again. Oh, she's here. To the guest area first. We have our talk in the sunset on a boat. Severe bursting gear. Bit of an unfortunate angle. Okay, this for the engine room. Okay, here I go back. Do you want to see the engine room? It says they're dangerous, so please be careful in there. Ah, are you the watchman? What is normal aboard the white ball? No, excuse me, there is no one for ghosting the one inside privacy. Possible. Can't open it anymore. Sure.
本気なのか。
ガンガラのことをとやかくは言えませんね。自分の願いのために残ることを選択してしまうなんて。
あいつとは違うよ、あんたは。この国を守っていきたいんだろ。
もう一つあります。あなたに会えてよかった。
こんなチンピラでもか。悪いな、こういうの慣れてないんだ。なんつうかマジになる。それにあんた女王様だし。俺今まであんたのこと好きって言ってたけど、それはなんだ、いや、もちろん俺は女に惚れるときはいつだって本気だけど、でもそれはなんだろう、あんたが俺のことを本気になるわけないってよ。安心っていうかな。いやー、いい天気だ。
女王が恋をしてはいけませんか？
いるんだろ。分かってんだぞ。あいつら。
よかったね、ヤンセン。
子供の見るもんじゃね
よかったね、どうぞま。
お前ら。
真っ赤だ。ヤンセン、かわいいぞ。女王様、こんなやつでいいわけ？
彼でなければいけないのです。
Oh, it's a shoe.
Oh my god! 10. 10 cat.
I'm so glad they found this land nose. I thought for sure Janaka would kill me after she was stolen. The ship is no longer necessary without Kakanas, but I still love her all the same. Anyway, I'm glad we got it back in one piece. Now we just need an engine and we'll be back in business. Hey, it's his son, you guys got her back. You are, hey, you're the guy from before. We won't forgive you. We won't give you this ship, no way. Well, we don't really want it because you got a new one. Hold on a second, Mama. Take a look at that engine. Ah, you're right, hey. You give that engine back to us. What? What are you talking about? We took this from a fish, you see? Now we meet a full tall tail. If you find something someone dropped, you're supposed to return it to him. So give us back our engine. Come on, can't you see how thankful I am that you found it? So I don't think you're doing a good job when we return for that. If we got Mama's engine by Nautilus, we're in business. What kind of business? Oh, we should really go that fast. Yeah, we should be faster than the white boa. Ah, we should be able to jump again. Whoa, means can we really be flying pirates? That's so cool. Sì, devo attivare control rossetto sul design to move backward presets, to make the warm up appear, click the stick, move the landing point. Devo attivare the navigate to certain ice fields where the ice is activated. Devo attivare secure with the internal angle for the Nautilus. When the Nautilus approaches the boa in the store will be displayed, press the button to store the Nautilus in the hangar. With the Nautilus in the hangar, lancia il display alle bottom right, devi press the button to latch it anytime. Press RB to see the power task of the white button. Regard the navigation screen, approach the power seat and select yes. When you're in the white board, you can save your game or shop it all the time. Degli oggetti. You have to break the ice in both places. No film né non tellendo. Forbidden spell, the leveler. You ever heard of the black magic spell that steals away from the world because it's so powerful? Wow, I heard that topic come from all of a sudden. I can see it rings a bell. I never heard of such a thing either. Yeah, I suppose it's not something that average people will know about. Yet it was accidentally discovered by some random source. It said that it hid it away before anyone could know its existence. So you're saying that a spell around here somewhere? That's the correct response of respect for my pirate, with the exception of the salvation. I heard this from a long time ago, and we actually already been here before. Even moving through here is really nasty, feel like all your energy just draining away because I won't stop blowing. Because of that I was lost and injured, and also was terrible. Oh, I didn't even want to think about it. Ha, sounds pretty pathetic. I mean, did that story even sound credible at all to you? I must admit that if such a powerful spell did exist, having it on our side would be a tremendous asset. True, but I wouldn't count on it. If there's no smoke, then the sector isn't gonna be a fire after all. What I was looking for is indeed beside our mind going a little treasure hunt. Eh? You get serious? I tell you, just forget about it. This place is bad news. Objection overruled is decided and let go. Ah, just I took my big mouth. What you do, just we're gonna go on without you. Wait to learn a second, it's really important, you know. Based on my experience, we're definitely going to run into some kind of disaster in this snowfield. No matter how careful you are, when we enter the snowfield, I put down a marker using magic. If you get that, just let me know, or I'll be able to get us out of this snowfield using the marker. Wow, nice to see you being serious about something for a change. Don't be stupid, you think I'm gonna get lost in this place again? Okay, just whisper. Running the back. Okay, Winda. the classic one. What is up with this wind and shivered on my spine? I also feel like it's whipping away at my energy. Is it because of this particle carried by the wind? This light particle, I was actually wondering about those two. Maybe it's got something to do with the forbidden spell Jansen I was talking about. You guys are good, I just go where the stuff is coming from, then I'm a bit wandering around like this. Hey, I think we just changed the direction. She said the paths were blowing in a different direction now. So whatever generated this thing is moving on. Hey Jansen, what do you make of that? If you ask me, then why do you ask? We will find out when we get there, okay? Let's just keep on moving forward. Hey guys, let's take a break for a bit. Here we go again, Jansen wanting this break again. Might as well, I guess. It's not over funny minifilm yet. That's true, but I'm starting to feel a strong presence as we're moving toward the source of this particle. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I'm saying that we're getting close to the forbidden spell. Oh yeah? That's the case, we should get going now. And then, hey Johnson, we're leaving you behind. What? You can't be serious. Hey, wait up, man. You guys got some serious muscle. Okay, it's not taking health, it's taking mana. From the source. I guess the rumors were true because he has the ferocious dragon is protector of the forbidden spell. Wait a minute, Judge, you didn't say anything about this. Well, I seem to remember telling you earlier that this was bad news. Now we got no other way out of this, do we? So let's do this, baby. I'll show you what the mortal can do. Should be an easy one if I read it right.
今ならいける。
So, your money, it are just 10,000. Level. Sanyuka. game. Ci porta anche with the magic absorption. Okay, now let's come back another time. This is the only place where there's more stuff to take. Quello è vedere. Come si chiama un batto? Facciamo un uso di mappa. This size over there and this over there. Mettiamo Odyssey. Making underwater. Temple of Enlightenment. What's up with this place? Song of taste. Il trucco che Temple of the Eastern Type, right ancient one, TV, I can feel spirit magic in the air. Okay, what's wrong? I'm not sure, I feel like so someone is calling for me or something from deep inside. I don't hear anything. You sure you're okay? Yeah, but something just doesn't feel right. It's like electricity is flowing through my body. Game. Keep moving, we'll find out what is soon enough. That's fine by me, but let's keep it strong and steady, ok? We're in the Eastern territory and in an ancient sector to boot, you're best expected and expected. I agree, everyone be careful. Vogliamo initial party? Not yet. ci vogliono poi calotto. Sgamba. Che io sto sorridendo. Mostrano Spirit Magic e le mostrano Black Magic.
丈夫かな。
Stiamo con I just gave it to her. Just two. Timbers, that's inside. Just Tim. Quindi devi indossare match in piedi. Scelta.
また今度ね。
Si spaventa anche.
サクサク行くぜ。
Ok, that's my cue.
When people die, they just go away. If there's any place a soul would go, it's in your memories. People you remember are with you forever.